You are Locked On Celtics Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Boston, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, Sunday's victory for the Celtics at the TD Garden against the Denver Nuggets. I don't care that the Celtics allowed the Nuggets to get back in the game in the second half. Unlike Friday, they never led or they never relinquished the lead after the first quarter. Bent did not break in the fourth quarter and come away with the victory, now 1-1 on the homestand. With that, we welcome you into our latest Locked On Celtics postcast. I'm Steve Lennox, longtime college basketball play-by-play announcer, former show host on satellite radio and ESPN radio. Danny Ainge, my favorite Celtics player growing up, first started paying attention to the Celtics in the, let's say 1984 or so. And don't forget, Danny Ainge also played baseball as well. You are right where you need to be. You are locked on with the latest Locked On Celtics postcast, providing reaction to every Celtics game on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, as well as the Locked On Celtics podcast feed, which you know is free and available wherever you get your podcasts. With our latest Locked On Celtics postcast, we are discussing the Celtics avoiding a third straight loss, something they have not done in 2 seasons. Celtics avoid the loss. Al Horford coming up big. No KP, no Jrue Holiday. Horford in the start did a terrific job. Pritchard, Hauser, Queta, all productive off the bench as well for the Celtics, who did not get a great shooting performance from Jayson Tatum after he went for 46 in the loss on Friday against Cleveland. Boston Celtics continue to show that they can win when their star players aren't necessarily going for big points. We do want to hear from you, our everydayers and our first-timers. Join the conversation, watching live with us on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Hit that comment button and join the Celtics conversation. Our latest episode of the Locked On Celtics postcast brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. So the Celtics coming off the tough loss against the Cavaliers on Friday. Nikola Jokic in the lineup, was not in the lineup when the Celtics beat the Nuggets in Denver back in, you can call it late January. Aaron Gordon missing both regular season games. And I had it on the pregame ABC TV before the game, and I was sort of surprised. Kendrick Perkins, Stephen A. Smith, they were basically saying that the Nuggets are not NBA final championship caliber team right now. Hey, they won it 2 years ago. Celtics won it last year. And over the first couple of quarters, you could sort of see, there's not disconnected. Final game of a road trip, you could sort of talk about that. But the Celtics up by 12 after the first quarter, led by as many as 13. The Celtics benched 19 points in the first half. That was great to see after they were abysmal Friday against the Cavaliers. The Celtics up 61-48. Going into halftime, up by as many as 20 in the first half. And Jayson Tatum, just 9 points, but also had 6 assists and 5 rebounds in the first half for the Celtics. Tatum, fadeaway bucket in the second quarter, and his first made field goal of the game. That put the Celtics up 14 at that point, led by as many as 20 in the second quarter. Now, Denver got back into the game. And the Nuggets right now, like the Celtics, the number 2 team in the West. Celtics, number 2 team in the Eastern Conference. Denver did a nice job getting back into the game, but the Celtics just did not allow them to get any closer. And it got close. It was a one-possession game in the fourth quarter. Celtics a 10-2 run to end the third quarter. Murray with a bucket, the first points by either side in the fourth quarter. And the Celtics lead down to 4. Derrick White, though, hit on a 3. A little breathing room at that point in time. Nuggets, a shot clock violation. Queta, a dunk to give the Celtics a 9-point lead in the fourth quarter. Going later to the fourth, Horford, a 3 that rimmed out. Previous possession, Brown went just 1 of 2 at the line. And I'm thinking, Cornette had an empty trip at the free throw line. Craig, I think, hit, 1 of 2 at the end of the third quarter. And I'm thinking you better, it didn't come down to free throws, but it was just a matter of, we can't have empty trips and you cannot have 1 of 2. You've got to go to the line and knock down shots. So Jokic then hit a 3, and that brought Denver to within 3. Cornette, though, 2 free throws. Al Horford, a steal. Jokic, a foul. Cornette, dunk on a pass from Derrick White, who was terrific. And the Celtics up 8 with 4 minutes to go in regulation. But Christian Braun, who had a terrific game, Braun knocking down a 3 to give him 24, the lead at 5. White, shot clock winding down, knocked down a 3, Celtics up by 3. Murray really got going in the second half, but he was almost invisible in the first 24 minutes. Murray a 3, again, a 5-point game. Murray at that point, 18 of his 22 coming in the second half. The Celtics up 5, 102-97. White missed on a 3. Denver ball, down 5. 2-possession game. Could have made it a 1-possession game. They had a turnover. 2:28 left, under 2.5. Celtics a turnover. But then Jaylen Brown had a huge block. Tatum fouled by Jokic. Tatum missed on a 3. Michael Porter then missed from long range for Denver. Then Jaylen Brown had a miss. Murray got inside the paint, hit it on a layup, and that made it 102-99. Celtics took it from there. Brown with a miss, White with a chase down, hit on the shot, lead back to 5. Denver a turnover. Al Horford, what a steal in the fourth quarter with a layup in transition. Celtics up by 7. Murray another bucket. Tatum a couple of free throws. Jokic a basket. Horford a couple of free throws. And the Celtics do pick up the victory. Celtics, again, led by 12 after 1. Led by 13 at the half. Led by 6 going to the fourth quarter. And the Celtics, terrific from the three-point line. 6 threes in the first quarter. 4 threes in the second. And 10 threes at the half, but just 4 threes the rest of the way. So they got inside, they got free throws, and went from there. We're going to the comments right now. If you're with us on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, first off, thanks for spending part of your Sunday late afternoon with us if you're on the East Coast. And let's get into the comments. Rain first in. Great game and much-needed win in a lot of ways. Really was. And again, I don't care that you were up by 20. Did not trail after the first quarter. 2 lead changes, 1 tie, all of that in the first quarter. Denver got back into the game in the fourth quarter, couldn't tie it or take the lead. And the Celtics bent, but defensively, you're holding Denver well below their season average. Nuggets just 103 points. Nikola Jokic, Breen, Jefferson, Doris Burke, all acknowledged and noticed in the first quarter. He was limping big time. Then had a scratch, was bleeding from that. Jokic did not have his best game of the season, by far. But the Celtics defensively, for 3 quarters plus, just took care of it. I mean, 48 points for the Nuggets at the half. And the Celtics, +1 in the fourth quarter. Win by 7, 110-103. You keep Denver to 103 points. You've done the job. You're coming away with a victory, and that's what the Celtics did with the win. So, Rain, a big win for the Celtics because you don't want to be 0-2 at the start of a 7-game homestand. The Real Darrell checking in on a Sunday. A win is a win. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's nothing when you look at the standings that says style points for victories, right? And for the most part, the Celtics just better than the Nuggets on Sunday. So the win is a win. Again, you avoid a 3rd straight loss. I think that's big for the Celtics. I think there's a little bit of a pride with that. They've lost 2 in a row twice this year. It's been a long time since they've lost 3 straight games. Rain again. What's wrong with KP? Yeah, it's an illness, non-COVID related. But come on. Where is Kristaps Porzingis? Jrue Holiday, again, it's not the shoulder for Holiday. It's something with, I think, the pinky finger. Mallet or something. And Holiday right now, I think it was Lisa Salters giving the update on Jrue Holiday early on in the game. I think it's the pinky. Forgive me, I'm not sure which hand it's on, but if it's on the right hand, that's the shooting hand. And Jrue Holiday might be a while. Basically, there's something in the tendon in there. They call it a mallet injury or something. I mean, can we all go back to Larry Bird and Bird 3-point shooting contest? Bird's fingers like this, trying to put up number 1. I'm winning the 3-point shooting contest. And, again, NBA players, their hands, they're nasty. Their feet are nasty. I mean, just imagine getting head on the hand over and over and over again. I mentioned it actually the other day, covering Quinnipiac University, ESPN Plus for men's and women's basketball. And one player had on his non-shooting hand, was pretty heavily taped up. And, you get hit on the hand constantly. Think about an NBA player, 4, 5, 6 years. Just your hand almost, it's not carpal tunnel, but you can't extend your hand a lot of the times because your fingers are just mangled. Your hand becomes mangled. But Rain, again, with KP, need him back. It's not an injury. It's an illness right now. So glass half full on that one. Stress the positive in that. But, yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. A couple of days off now before back-to-back Wednesday, Thursday against Portland and Philadelphia. We'll get more into that later on in segment number 3, along with numbers of the night in segment number 3. But a couple of days off now. But Holiday, they're not giving any timetable on when he may be back. But something in a finger like that, I mean, you're at the point now in the season, you want to get that as taken care of and on the mend as much as possible. I don't know if that's something that he's going to go into the playoffs with. But right now, it's a simple, it's not a simple, but it is a finger injury. And it could be a while. I don't know that you're going to see him in the starting lineup. Now, again, we could see him in the starting lineup on Wednesday against Portland. We'll have to wait and see. UHH Johnny, I believe first time ever, checking in. Appreciate it. Great win. Sees any word on when Porzingis is back. I would imagine, and we're asking about Porzingis. Again, illness, not injury. I would imagine he's either back Wednesday or Thursday. I haven't seen anything about a timetable for his return as well. But he's sort of been, questionable, and he was doubtful on the injury report on Saturday. So whatever he's got, whatever he's dealing with right now, you don't want him anywhere near the team because you don't want anyone else having to deal with that in the coming weeks. And there's going to be, if it's a serious illness, again, this is just going, logic. Not speculating, but logic. If it's a serious illness, it's going to take him a couple of days to recover as well. Conditioning, things like that. So you're hopeful for Wednesday. I don't even know that they'll turn in an injury report. I don't think they have to for Monday, so you'll probably see it late on Tuesday. We'll see if he's upgraded, at least at questionable and not doubtful. The real Darrell again. Do you think Keita should see the floor more? Activity on the glass and ability to score in the paint helps with the three-pointers not falling. The real Darrell, you've been with us. We got underway in October, right? You've been with us for a while. I'm not patting myself on the back. It's sort of frustrating for me. I was in love with Keita. October and November when Porzingis wasn't available. You take the good with the bad, and there's certain, certain things. Sometimes he'll go on a shooter, leaves his own man in the paint, and if somebody's driving to the basket, he'll leave real early. But I like Keita a lot. I mean, he said, again, it's. I mean, even in Dorisburg, I think. I mean, we've had enough national broadcasts where they talk about the Celtics up front. When you're going well, you got Porzingis, Horford, Cornet, and then Keita. Keita gets lost and pushed down there. I like Keita a lot. He had a very good game. There's some games, and I think he got 3 fouls in the first half. There's some games where you just know he's going to be active on both ends of the floor, which he needs to do, but there's just an inconsistency there. Came up big. Came up real big Sunday against the Nuggets. Had a block, I think, in the fourth quarter. Rebounded on both ends. Kept some possessions alive. But he's a very good rim protector. Is he a starter in the NBA? No. I think he's got a great role as a backup. But somebody in the future, somebody may decide, you know what? We're going to throw money at him. We're going to throw a lot of money at him, and the Celtics would have to make a decision. I don't know that he gets a huge contract. But what he brings for the Celtics when he's on, it's terrific off the bench. It really is. And early on in the season, I mean, there were some games where he was terrific when Porzingis was not in the lineup at all, not available. Rain one more. KP had a bad month. And he was going there. He was going real well for a stretch. And now dealing with an illness. Again, I stress the fact that it's an illness and it's not an injury. Something that he's dealing with, an ankle, a foot, a knee. There's nothing there. At least that's what we know and what we're led to believe. There's been no inkling of, Porzingis is dealing with an injury right now. It's just an illness, and he's out. BMD 555, D White, and a Big Al getting the win. Yeah, and Tatum, a bit out of it of sorts. But again, you come away with a victory against the number 2 team in the West, coming late stages, final game of a road trip. And maybe there were some tired legs for the Nuggets. But again, the Celtics prove they don't always have, you lose with Tatum going for 46 the other night and Brown with 37. And the bench, almost from the jump, as soon as they started bringing guys off the bench, they were going in a big way. I should say, I am way behind here. But Pritchard, 3 threes, 4 of 7 from the field, had the layup. Didn't wait on the three-point line. Saw an opening, went to the basket and finished. He had 11. 8 apiece for Queta and Hauser. Hauser knocked down a couple of threes. And Queta, 10 rebounds. 8 and 10 for Queta. Ended up with 4 fouls in 17 minutes, 4 of 5 from the field. All of his shots are going to be around the rim, right? Certain teams, he just has more of a positive contribution. Certainly did that on Sunday against the Denver Nuggets. So, again, Celtics avoid a third straight loss. Go 2-0 against the Nuggets during the regular season. Don't think you're going to see Denver again, but hey, who knows? They could end up in the NBA Finals. Jamal Murray, quiet, and then big second half. But the Celtics bent, did not lose the lead at any point after the first quarter, and victorious at home, 1-1 on the current 7-game homestand. And Big Al Horford, we're going to have more on him and the bench play and the ES or ABC, Breen, Jefferson, Doris Burke. On Jayson Tatum, I thought they had some great observations on him. And really, whether it's ABC, ESPN, or TNT, it's like the Celtics have a second flagship television station because as the defending NBA champs and one of the best teams in the NBA this year, on national TV, an awful lot. We'll discuss more on the Celtics and Big Al Horford having a big game in a starting role on Sunday for Joe Mazzulla and the Celtics. Glad you're with us. Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Tip of the cap. Want to acknowledge our everydayers for making Locked On Celtics with John Corrales and the Locked On Celtics postcast our number one and first listen every single day. Celtics pick up the victory against the Denver Nuggets at home, and the Celtics with the win, again, avoiding a third straight loss. We are presented by DoorDash. NBA fans, get ready. They swoosh, you save thanks to Dash Pass. Every time a player drops 50 or more points in a game, you score a huge deal the next day. It's simple. When a player, Steph Curry did it the other night, the first with our new promotion with DoorDash, Steph Curry scored 50. So the next day from noon until midnight, you can take advantage. Dash Pass members get 50% off an order up to $10. Again, the next day from noon to midnight. Hopefully you took care of that after Steph Curry dropped 50-plus for the Warriors a couple of nights ago. Here are a few ways you can take advantage of this deal. Game day feast after an epic 50-point performance. Celebrate by ordering wings, pizza, burgers from your favorite spot delivered straight to your door. Late night cravings? Well, whether you're staying up late to watch highlights or you just need a midnight snack, use Dash Pass to grab something delicious while saving big. Sign up right now, Dash Pass, and be ready to save. When any player scores 50 or more points in a game the rest of the regular season, Dash Pass members get 50% off an order the next day, up to $10 off. Just use promo code NBA50 from noon to midnight after a 50-point game performance on eligible orders and participating merchants. Must have an active Dash Pass account. Terms apply. Visit DoorDash to learn more. Keep the comments coming. Celtics victorious at home against the Denver Nuggets. And with the victory, Celtics again go 2-0 against Denver during the regular season. 1-1 on this current homestand that continues Wednesday against the Portland Trailblazers, the first of 2 regular season meetings against Portland. Playing better of late and on a current road trip that continues against Cleveland, Boston, and OKC for their next 3 games. Their game against Cleveland this afternoon. That game should be underway right now for the Trailblazers, and the Cavaliers will maybe look at the scoreboard here in just a moment. The Celtics are now 12-7 against the West this season, and again, avoid losing 3 in a row for the first time this year as well. We've heard from the real Darrell. We've heard from others as well. Basically right now, popular opinion, a win is a win. A win is a win. 43-18 for the Celtics. They've won 7 of 9. And right now, you're looking at the standings. You're looking at the Knicks, who are looking up at the Celtics. Knicks off on Sunday, so the Celtics do pick up a half game now, 3 up on New York for the number 2 spot in the Eastern Conference. The Nuggets dropped to 39-22. They came into Boston after ending Detroit's win streak that was extended earlier in the week at home against the Celtics, and since January 31, the Nuggets now 11-3. Wanted to touch on, I'm going to get into Al Horford, but wanted to touch on some of the observations. Kendrick Perkins, again, in the pregame, saying that he did not believe that the Nuggets were a title contender. I don't know if I tuned out, just didn't want to listen to the rest of it, but obviously it's OKC. I didn't hear whether or not he had another team that was, 3 seed, 4 seed, 5 seed that he thought, had a better chance of getting to the NBA Finals and representing the Western Conference. Maybe it's just OKC or bust for Kendrick Perkins. Richard Jefferson, mentioning Jokic appearing to have an issue, mentioned that from the first half was limping. And Mike Breen actually said, he's a player that always looks like he's fatigued. And something, hey, I did not know that. Apparently, Jokic has water polo in his background. They were talking about how often he's able to do things with his right hand, grab a rebound, throw basically a touchdown pass at the other end. But just a lot of things that he's able to do just with his right hand based on his background with water polo. I thought that was fascinating. I really did. Doris Burke, as they were touching on Jayson Tatum, I think it was in the first half. Doris Burke said, another thing I love about Tatum is he loves to play the game. And touched on, there's been games where they've wanted to give Tatum rest games. Sunday wasn't going to be a rest game for Jayson Tatum. We know there are guys around the NBA where a coach might say, hey, we're looking for a rest game, and Tatum basically talks himself into, being in the lineup. He's answered the bell. He's started 58 games on the season for the Celtics, and it's just been outstanding. And, Doris Burke, Richard Jefferson, Mike Breen enjoyed their conversation throughout the game. Breen is obviously the best of the best. I've had dealings with Mike Breen in the past. He's been very good to me in terms of, when I was a lot younger, listening to demos and things like that, offering career advice. Anyway, Breen brought up with Jayson Tatum. He's as polite as a star player, as they have in the league currently. And they touched on, I give great credit, and we should give great credit to Jayson Tatum, of always being available with the media after games. Now, maybe he's missed 1 or 2 this year, but you can't count on 2 hands at times where he's deferred and said, you know what, I'm not talking tonight. He always asks the questions. And when you're at the podium, it's usually the first couple of questions are good. Once you get to question 4, 5, or 6 from reporters that are in the room, they become almost laughable. And Tatum, as Mike Breen said, polite in terms of dealing with the media. Part of the game, but just a lot of great back and forth from Mike Breen, Doris Burke, and Richard Jefferson during the game in the first half on Jayson Tatum. Now, Tatum, again, didn't have the best scoring game of the season. Ended up with 16 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists. Ended up with 5 fouls as well. 38 minutes, 4 of 15 from the field, 1 of 7 on the three-point line, but 7 of 8, 1 of 7 on the three-point line, 7 of 8 at the free throw line. And I don't always like talking free throws, but I think the Celtics, they just got to the basket and got foul calls in the first half. Go back to my notes. The Celtics in the first half, 11 of 11 at the half. They were 8 of 8 at the free throw line in the first quarter. That tells you a lot. I mentioned that in the second half, as Denver was getting back into the game, all of a sudden there was an empty trip by Cornette. Tatum did miss a technical foul early on in the third quarter that Michael Malone, the head coach of the Nuggets, got as well. But they got to the line. They established in the first quarter that they were going to get to the basket, and they got foul calls as well. And that was just great to see overall for the seconds. But Al Horford and Derrick White, huge in the win. Horford, 35 minutes. And getting back to Breen, Burke, and Jefferson, not that they were taking shots. It was sarcastic. But, the old guy, the big fella, Al Horford, 35 minutes, 7 of 12, knocked down 1 3, 4 of 4 at the line, 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 steals. The steal in the fourth quarter, basically, it was thrown right to him, just jumped in the passing lane and started to lead the break for the Celtics, gave the ball up. And then Derrick White just hit shots in big spots. Mentioned the one in the fourth quarter, missed on a three. Nobody, the ball came almost to the free throw line, almost in one motion, caught it, put it up, and was able to hit on the shot. Derrick White, 33 minutes, goes after it on both ends of the floor. 6 of 13 overall, 5 threes. 17 points, 3 rebounds, a couple of assists, and 2 steals. Again, your starters are just, I don't, tired at this point in the season? Absolutely. But they just keep going. So I mentioned 2 days off, Monday, Tuesday. I want to see if I can get some comments. I should have asked about this earlier. But Monday, the debut of the HBO original documentary series. It premieres on Monday. The trailer terrific for for Celtic City with everybody's guy Bill Simmons, and that starts on Monday on HBO Max. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know how many parts it is, but it starts on Monday as it debuts. A lot of people have seen it, and a lot of people on social media have gotten looks at it already and rave reviews. And Netflix did one with the Celtics or with the Red Sox, and there's another one coming out with the Red Sox soon as well, chronicling the 2024 Major League Baseball season with the Red Sox. But, going back the 20th anniversary in 2024 of the World Series championship from 2004, breaking the curse and everything, that was well done. I have high expectations. And if you want to share your expectations for it, you're going to watch it immediately Monday night or perhaps in the coming days. But, hey, 2 days off in a row, and I don't know if they're dropping the whole thing or not, but we could certainly all start binge watching as well. Went away from the studio there, get back into the comments. The real Darrell. Denver, not a legit contender based upon the eye test. What's your opinion of Denver this season? You've got a guy who's going to be top 3 or 4. Jokic is an MVP candidate. He's won the MVPs, right? He's got a title 2 years ago. I want to believe that they are, but I mean, they're the number 2 seed in the West. Just push them to the side, but through 3 quarters, the Celtics took care of business without Jokic and Aaron Gordon. They need Gordon healthy. He missed both meetings with the Celtics during the regular season. A lot of people aren't sold on OKC just because of the inexperience. I mean, Denver, OKC, Celtics, Cavaliers, conference finals, I'll take both of them. I would enjoy watching Denver in the West Finals against Oklahoma City, 1 versus 2 on both sides, and then go from there. But I can't completely say, and I mean, Kendrick Perkins knows a lot more than I do, but I can't just completely dismiss Denver. Not with Jokic. Not in a 7-game series. They've got the opportunity to wear you down. They can score in a lot of different ways, and they've got different guys who can beat you. It's been said in both games, and I've watched Denver a couple of times this year, and the announcers are always, everyone's going to let Westbrook shoot. Westbrook is not the same player, obviously. He's got a lot of wear and tear. But everyone will let Westbrook shoot, but Westbrook can't go off for a triple-double in a playoff game based on his experience, still has a great ability to get to the rim. I'm not ready to completely dismiss them. And I'm not saying that they're, out in the first or second round. I think the deeper a series goes, the more I would like the Nuggets in a playoff series. That's a lot on the Denver Nuggets. That's on you, the real Darrell. Appreciate that. Fat Man checking in. Derrick White out there today. Yeah, and White's a guy who, answers the bell. From Friday, I think we were speculating, is he going to be in the lineup on Sunday? Yeah, and he was big on both sides of the basketball. Fat Man again, Peyton Pritchard. 2 big help. Helped out big. And Pritchard's had a couple of games during the course of the season where, he hasn't had a good performance, and then he comes back with a solid performance. And he was solid off the bench. And there are ways teams know where they can go to kind of shut down Peyton Pritchard. All right, where are we here? We are way behind. Numbers of the night next. And our Locked On Celtics postcast presented by FanDuel. FanDuel makes it easy for you. Let's tell you about FanDuel right now. When the game tips off, the NBA action is just getting started. There's no better place to get in on the action than with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Hey, with FanDuel, you can place live bets throughout the game. So even if you miss the opening tip or you want to place a bet on a fourth quarter comeback, you can stay in the action. And if you are holding or if you're looking for a big payout, you can even combine your live bets into a same game parlay. With FanDuel, you are going to love FanDuel's live betting feature because it keeps every moment of the game exciting, whether you're backing your team for a late game rally or picking a player to hit a clutch three. You'll never feel like you missed out on your chance. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right. Sam's going to be upset with me. I might have to do push-ups Wednesday for going long here on our latest Locked On Celtics postcast. I'm not blaming the real Darrell. I'm not blaming any of you. I do appreciate you being on board with us. They want to keep it at about 30 minutes, and we're into segment number 3 in minute number 31. Numbers of the night, Celtics again avoiding a third straight loss as they pick up the victory against the Denver Nuggets at home on Sunday. Denver got to one possession, made it a one-possession game in the fourth quarter, but never able to tie or go in front. Celtics knocking down 14 threes, great in the first half on the three-point line, not so much in the second half, but the Celtics streak of 15 straight games, an NBA record now of making 15 or more threes, coming to an end. The Celtics earning the victory, and the Celtics continue to be a winning team when Luke Kornet is in the starting lineup as well. Celtics 43-18 on the season. They've won 7 of 8 and now 11-3 in their last 14 games. What is next? Well, 2 days off, and deserved days off at this stretch in the season, right? Because now you've got a back-to-back. Portland Wednesday, Philadelphia on Thursday. You win against Portland. You're 2-1 on the current 7-game homestand, and you're thinking, we'll just roll the dice against the 76ers yet again on Thursday. Portland right now on a current 4-game win streak, 3-0 on their current 7-game road trip. Portland and Philadelphia, again, back-to-back nights for the Celtics at home Wednesday and Thursday. Celtics are off the next 2. Celtics have won the previous 4 meetings with the Blazers. Portland 27-33 right now, 4.5 games out of the play-in. They are 14-5 in their last 19, so they've played better of late. At Cleveland, on the road in Philadelphia against the Sixers on Monday, so back-to-back for the Trailblazers, and then they've got the Celtics Wednesday in Boston, as we've been touching on, and then at Oklahoma City next Friday to wrap up their road trip. And then the Lakers come in after the Sixers. That matchup next Saturday, national TV, Jazz in Oklahoma City as well on this homestand, where the Celtics are now 1-1 and 21 games left now in the regular season for the Celtics as they pick up the victory against the Portland Trailblazers. White, Horford, Pritchard, terrific off the bench. Celtics earn the win against Portland, go 2-0 against Denver on the regular season. One more. Flying V-Guy 68. Sam Hauser, good. Keep it up. Yeah, shooting is contagious, and shooters can go into slumps. But Pritchard and Hauser both established in the first half that they were knocking down shots, and it was great to see for the Celtics as they needed to pick up a victory. I think we opened up our comments with that. Much needed win. Yeah, you don't want to be 0-2 on a 7-game homestand to start out. McTaggart, you mean 7 of 9. It's a Jerry Ryan trib. Sorry, bud. If you can expand on that, I'm not quite sure where you're going. Hey, we're with you. We're going to be with you on Wednesday. Within minutes of the final buzzer of the Trailblazers and Celtics first meeting of the regular season. Celtics will be in Portland during their upcoming lengthy road trip as well. But we remind you, as always, subscribe and follow us with the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Also follow us on the X formerly known as Twitter at Lennox on Hoops as well. Locked On Sports Boston, number one place to hang out immediately after every game. Locked On Sports, your team, your Celtics every day. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, everybody.